Alright, this has had a chance to cure overnight. As you can see, it's nice and set up. Looks good. This can still move around in there, so it's not blocking anything. Hopefully, everybody cross your fingers that this was what was wrong with it and that this will hold and stay in there, so we can get the truck back up and running again. Alright, let's put her all back together. Alright, so we're going to wiggle her back in here. Make sure that all of your gaskets are seated firmly, that you haven't lost any taking her out. And we'll just kind of squizzle it on in here. This hose should be completely detached at this point, so this can just go wherever. Throw her up there. Make sure all these are hooked in. Once again, with the wires back here, you just want to make sure that you're kind of gently pushing them out of the way so that you're not breaking anything trying to shove that down in there. Just a bunch of wiggling around. This doohickey EGR valve has to go around here. Alright, once you finally kind of get it where it needs to go, you want to reach down there and just feel and make sure you haven't lost any gaskets. Alright, they all seem to be in place. Just set it on up against there. This bracket's in my way. That's what it is. Alright. Alright. Set it all nice and in there. Alright, at this point it's probably easiest to pick a couple, like, I don't know, numbers 2 and 4. Just reach your hand up under there. Hold the manifold in place. Just finger tighten them in just to get them started. Now, of course, I've gotten something in the way when I let go of it. There we go. Alright, just get them started so you've got something holding it there for you. Just get those in tight enough to kind of hold it. Give you a little bit of wiggle room to get the other ones in. And then once again, number 1, can you see down here? Number 1 is right here. Number 3 is right there. Alright, and then number 5 is going to be up under there. You have to be on the far side of this ridge, that ridge, to get to it. There you are. Shove it in the hole, and with your other hand, you should be able to get an extension on it. And we'll just go through and tighten all the others. Now we start hooking stuff back up. So this vacuum line goes here. The other end of that comes from the fuel rail. And this can get clipped back in here. Just like that. There we go. Through there. Through here. Okay. This end gets hooked here. This bracket slips back on. Nice and easy. This just snaps back in here. And then the bottom hooks in. There we go. So it looks like that. Alright, we're going to take and put these bolts back in here. I want to say they were 10 millimeter. These ones. Start it. Now, let's clip that in there. Take this end, you can't see that. Take this end, plug it in here. Alright, now let's go over to the back. That plug and vacuum line that we took out. That's that doohickey behind there. Back behind those wires. So there's the plug that gets plugged in, and then the vacuum line is the one that comes from our little hanging doohickey down there. That's a technical term for it. Alright, I pulled the doohickey up so you guys can see it. So it looks like this, with the hole for the bolt on top. There's a line coming out the left side, and then there's a line coming out the bottom. From that, the line coming out the bottom goes to the vacuum line back there. The one coming out the side goes to the vacuum line right there. Alright, now for that doohickey, it's got a little tab on the top, and it's got a little slot that it goes into. So you can kind of just hang it like that from the slot with the, let's see, with the plug. Can you see the plug going at the bottom? So it should look like that. And then you just put the 8 millimeter bolt back in. Alright, well, you've got your 8 millimeter wrench in your hand. You're going to reattach that bracket right there. Alright, now that we have all of that done up there, we can go ahead and clip this guy in here so it won't be in the way. And then remember the clip that was down under here? Just find it with your fingers and go ahead and snap it in to the hole at the bottom of the manifold. Alright, and now we're going to come around here and reattach the plug and the vacuum line that we took out back there. Let me get some light on the subject for you. So this one and this one, hook those back up. Those are all hooked up. Now that we've done everything back here, this line can go home right into there, and then pinch that with a pair of pliers and move it back down. Alright, so that's all hooked up now. Now we're just going to plug all this electronics back in. So this one, until you hear a snap. This one, which is hiding. There. That goes back in there. Snap. And throttle body sensor, snap. Alright, now we're going to put our bracket back on. So it goes in this orientation. Once again, just wiggle it a little bit. Then you're going to take your throttle cable and you're going to loop it back through here. Snap in the butterflies. Clip it up there. Take this and snap it right on. Boom. Whoops. Alright, now we're just going to grab our air intake and put that back in. Alright, so you're just going to shove that on there, shove that on there. Alright, those are on. Make sure that you don't have any gaps between the end, especially on the bottom. Make sure it's all the way flush to where it's going. Alright, you're going to tighten those hose clamps with your flathead. Right there, right here. Then you're going to put your bolt back in here. Bolt that back on. Alright, now we're going to hook our mass airflow sensor wiring harness back up. Stick in these two clips. I'll wait on that one. And then hook up your vacuum line back from whence it came into there. Alright, now we are going to just hook our battery cables back up and hold our breath and pray. Sounds a lot different than it did before. So, if you have what you think is a vacuum leak and you can't figure out where it's coming from, and you have one of these vehicles or one of the Mazdas is the same, definitely check your little plug in the end of your intake manifold and see if that might have popped out, and hopefully our hack works for you all as well. I will try to remember to come back in 6 months or a year and let you know if it helps. So cross your fingers.